for you to get pictures. Then we now go on to a Frenchman called Louis Daguerre, French, Louis Daguerre, and he developed a technology they call daguerreotype. It's the first commercially available method of making photographs, and he used silver copper plates. This method was much more better. It produced better and faster pictures and required only minutes for exposure. So this time you only sit down for like maybe 4 minutes, and then after 3 minutes you get your picture. Neat. So imagine going to a place and then they give you a picture of yourself after 3 minutes. I'm sure everybody would have thought this thing is too beautiful. But if I tell you that this is still, as I say, for them it was beautiful, but then page 6, sorry, the picture was the thing cost. He took 1 or 2 or 3. He didn't take so much of himself. Nowadays, you can just carry your phone and snap 10,000 selfies. Nothing concern you. It's cheap now. It's not phone. Snap. But that time, you couldn't just get those things. We'll move on to the late 1880s, and then this is on page 7, where George Eastman, who was working with Kodak. How many of you have heard of Kodak? Kodak. Thank you. Kodak is one of the biggest brands that make cameras, film cameras. They were the biggest technology after this copper silver plate stuff. So they're making films, those tiny strip stuff that you see that they put inside cameras to take pictures. It was less expensive than copper plates, silver copper plates, but it was also a little bit cumbersome. Because now, imagine the person you snap sneezed or blinked their eyes. That film that you have taken is gone. You cannot delete it and take another one. In fact, with film photography, when you go and buy your film, maybe you buy 60 films or 120 films. When you go for an event or anything, photographers those days, they don't take pictures anyhow. They wait, and they even tell when they're doing the occasion to wait for some things. Because, Oga, I cannot snap you and delete this thing. If I snap you, I'll snap. If you were laughing, that is how you see the picture. I will not take another one and waste another extra film on this matter. But nowadays, we have memory card. Delete, format. You cannot format film. Oh. You cannot format film. But film was better off than plates. Because now you don't have to be carrying chunky, large plates up and down. Just put your film inside your camera, you take your shots, and then you go. Although cameras were still large, they still had a larger size, but it was far much more better to take pictures with film. Just give me a minute. Okay. So in 1925, Leica is a photography brand. They make film cameras. They also make digital cameras, but they are not big in Africa. They are mostly known in America and Europe, some parts of Asia, but mostly America and Europe. That's where they are mostly big. In 1925, they introduced the first 35mm film camera, making cameras smaller and more accessible to the public. This portable format allowed for candid and action photography, popularizing photojournalism. So when they made this camera, if you look at the page 7, the camera to your right, that small camera is a 35mm Leica film camera. It was used by photojournalists because it was easier to carry around compared to the Kodak camera on the left, which is a box. To carry a box up and down when you it can be very, very difficult. By the 1970s, we now transitioned to digital imaging technology. And guess what? It was created by Steve Sasson at Kodak in 1975. Now, I want to give us a brief story of this Kodak company. They were pioneers for film photography, true or false? They were pioneers. Some of the first people that made the best film cameras came from Kodak. If I also tell you that some of the best made the first, yes, the thing is that they made digital cameras, but their own executives, like their Oga at the top, said things like, people will love film so much, they will not want to move to digital. That's a summary of like what they said. Because for them, I think they do not have the foresight to see that in the future things will change and things are always changing. These people developed digital cameras, but they did not use it, they did not sell it. They